Hello, everyone. Welcome to Costanza, a podcast about something. I am your host, Joe Costanza, not to be confused with George Costanza from Seinfeld. We are not related.
You're not?
No, I, I mean, are we, Jake?
No, I don't think so. Could be.
Yeah,
I don't
I
know.
feel like we would have known about that, but oh well. Um, this is actually our second time recording this because the first time
Technical
Streamlabs
difficulties happened.
yes, technical difficulties happened.
Streamlabs said, "Fuck you."
Yep. So we're just doing this on Discord, so in like a private server that I have. But anyways, this is episode 1 of this podcast. I don't know how long this will last for. I don't even know how many people are gonna watch this, but this is something I've been wanting to do for a while now, and today is the day. I guess we do 2 of them, I guess. So today is December 23rd. We're recording this at like close to 9 o'clock right now. So I am your host, Joe Costanza. I am 20 years old. I basically been wanting to make content for a long time now, and I just finally decided to make some. My first recording was the Mario Kart collab that I did like a week ago, and that turned out to be pretty well, actually, which is surprising. Microphone wise, not really. I need to get better audio equipment, but I think overall that was a good stream. But anyways, this podcast is basically we talk about, well, something. It could be ranging from like modern like media stuff, like anything that happens with like a celebrity we'll probably talk about, any like new movies or shows or any big announcements that have come out, we'll probably talk about those. And yeah, so it'll basically just be a weekly series, about an hour and a half long, depending on the episode. Some of them will go live, others will be pre-recorded like this. But yeah, I just hope y'all find some decent fun into this because I've been wanting to do this for a while. And I am not alone. I have 2 other special guests with me, one of them being my brother, Jacob Costanza. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Jacob Costanza. I am the superior brother of the two, and
Wow.
Just straight
it's
up
true
lies.
though.
Get the fuck off.
Okay, bye.
Alright. Say less.
I didn't want a beer anyways. Just wanted some-
See ya.
Anyways, finish.
I'm not really sure what to say. I am playing this out. Even though this is my second time doing this, like recording this, because the first time the video got all corrupted, I'm still unsure about what to say.
I mean, you're burgeoning on being a podcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have that much social media, so I don't really blame you for not having anything. So, I mean, yeah.
All right. Well,
And the second person is Iceberg Mike, who is 1/3 of the Thunder Pals, and you may recognize him from my stream. He was the host of the Mega Collab, and he is here right now.
yes.
Here we go.
You chilling with the Iceberg. I'm 1/3 co-founder of the Thunder Pals, a YouTube channel. Well, we're not just a YouTube channel yet, Twitch and all these other things, but it's I consider it all the same digital space where we want to have people have a good time. It's a retreat, not a battleground. So like, if you don't have a community to vibe with, we kind of want to be that for people. Like currently our identity is like a variety multiplayer channel. I kind of want to morph that more into like the PokeTuber arena, but it is what it is. We just want to play games with people. We want to create a safe space, let people be them. If we can make them better while we do that, that's cool too. That's really all I got.
It's good. His channel will be in the description. Yeah, I've been part of Thunder Pals for 4 years now, and I've been a mod for about 3. Berg and I have gotten pretty close with each other, which I honestly like. I was joined along with 2 other people. One of them left indefinitely for now, but like I honestly didn't expect like out of the 3, I was the one that like still has a mod status and has been kind of active on the channel the longest. But I mean, it's been a fun run, and I can't wait to do more stuff and more videos and stuff. And it just got to the point where we both decided, you know what, let's just do a podcast. And we originally did it on his channel, which I think there are some videos up, but I don't really know.
Thunder Pals at Midnight was the podcast that we did together. Hold on a second.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to. Sometimes I get people doing things. I get bad actors. No, I'm doing some recordings, but they want to still say
Very
things.
good.
But we did the podcast at midnight. We did a lot of episodes together, but we did it at a time where it was kind of rough for me to do the editing, and then it just started snowballing. So we never really got to do what we wanted to do with it. The RZA took that over. I don't know if he converted everything, because he said he was gonna put it on podcast aggregates, and I never really checked up on that. So I don't know if those episodes are up yet, but we'll work on that.
Yeah, and it got to the point where I think like there were like scheduling conflicts or something, or like change of schedule and stuff. We all couldn't be there.
That was another thing that happened. Like, because we were literally doing them at midnight, and the next day was basically shot. We couldn't do nothing, so
Right.
we were trying to reschedule it, and we ended up rebranding it. I still have like the assets for the rebrand, like good to go. Like if we ever choose to do it again, but it's been kind of a mess trying to get it together. And then December kind of messed up everything for me because I had to pick up more hours at my real job. So yeah, I didn't have time for a lot of things this month. I'm surprised I got that mega collab off, to be honest with
you. I'm surprised we lasted through the whole thing because we got tired halfway through.
Yo, I'm not gonna hold you, and I love Epic Luigi, but that whole everyone is tired. No, you're tired.
Yeah, I was like up and ready to go. I'm like, I kind of just I want to get through Coconut Mall. Let's go. Like these are like the better stages, so I kind of want to do them.
Like, and then unprecedented. I had like a 40-minute intermission in between the 2 halves of the tracks, like the first 48 and the last 48.
So I was only a part of the last 48. I was the Darth Vader.
You weren't even part of the last 48 because like you weren't even there for the last 48 because it was technically like 32 or something.
Okay, yeah, 32 then.
It was we did all 96 tracks. It's just I
just had to fill in for someone.
In the middle of it, I had to step off and use the restroom, and that was a mistake because like, oh yeah, everyone's tired. You should just table it. Like, come on, man. The whole thing is supposed to be 96.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's no tabling it. There's no part 2. We're doing this, and we're never doing it again.
They knew what they were getting into as well.
No, exactly. I mean we'll do more Mario Kart collabs, but we're never doing 96 again because that shit took way too long.
Yeah,
I feel like everybody should do it just one time, just to like have the experience, because it is actually pretty cool to go through all 96 courses.
It was cool. I was reminded some courses were in the game, but they never picked.
Anyways, we are kind of trailing off. I think I did all the introduction I needed, right? Like I said, like what? Okay,
yeah, we're good. We're good. What's your first topic?
So, I said it was going to be a weekly thing, like just discussing the entirety of the week, but Berg really wanted to talk about this, and I did too. We're just going to go back to October of 2023 with the release of the highly anticipated, you can't see me putting up quote fingers,
Air
but
quotes.
quote unquote, end quotes, yeah. Highly anticipated, quote unquote, for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that came out. And yeah, what are your guys' thoughts?
Oh, you mean Midnight at Freddy's?
Yeah.
I'll let you get it first, Jake.
Okay. When I first went to see the movie, I went with Joe and like 5 or 6 other people.
It's a small group.
Yeah, small
Right.
group. But when I first saw it, at first I did come in with some expectations, and I didn't like the film too much when I first went there and saw it. But then after I had some time to think it through, I thought to myself, it's better than I thought it was actually, because it's better than how I first thought it was when I first went there, because I went in with expectations, and then I remembered it's made more for like the fans of it and wasn't really meant to be too scary at all. So I would say that the film's kind of like mid. I don't hate it and I don't love it. Yeah.
All right.
So I'm gonna say, like I said, we try to record this before, but I'm not a big FNAF fan. At least I don't think I could really consider myself one, because I don't really play the games like that. Horror is really not my thing. Like, I've dabbled, obviously, like there's Resident Evil games and whatnot. I actually did buy the first 4 FNAF games, intending to do some type of scary game squad thing with Thunder Pals. We did Sophie's Curse, and for some reason, even though I didn't like playing a scary game, playing it with my people was kind of cool, because you got the different perspectives. So I was like, all right, this was cool. Maybe we could do this with FNAF. But then that kind of fizzled. And I tried playing the games myself, and I'm just like, yo, I can't do this. This is too unnerving. Like, it was like, you gotta check the doors, you gotta check the traps, you gotta check the vents. Like, oh shit, check the cameras. It's a lot of feeling of dread, not necessarily scary things, because obviously there's jump scares and whatnot that will get you, but just like the feeling of like, you don't know what's around the corner, if you're gonna die or if you're gonna survive. So like that sense of dread, I attach that to FNAF. So going into the movie, I'm expecting to, have that same sense of dread, and it wasn't really there. Like, so, and I'm just like, this is kind of like, huh? Like, what are we
Right.
doing here? Like, I get most of my knowledge for FNAF comes from watching people like Matt Pat for the Game Theorist and Markiplier play through the game and try to figure out the lore while doing it. Matt Pat's more of the lore guy, Markiplier is more of the let's player, but still, like, I get my knowledge from them.
Yeah.
So I'm going into this movie, I'm watching it, and I'm just like, this doesn't get any crazy. Really, it's like 2 times the movie gets crazy, and one time the main protagonist isn't even involved with it. When the aunt and her cronies go and like mess with the Freddy Fazbear, so we'll try to get this guy fired. The animatronics go crazy there. All right, this is kind of scary. And then the second time they get it gets a little hairy. Is like the climax of the movie where Mike fights Afton and got all the different William Afton, and you see all the animatronics go crazy. But then there's a point in the movie where Abby and Mike literally are sidestepping out of the room to get out of there. Like they played it really safe. And I get that you wanted to do like a PG movie, so you get as many people in there as possible, but Like
it didn't feel like that they were in any danger, essentially.
there was like no stakes, no danger. You
Yeah.
you were safe the whole time.
And I would have liked it if they like showed like Mike in more danger. And
Yeah.
I get that the animatronics are like never like fully evil, even in the games. Like FNAF 2, they mentioned that they were not harmful towards kids, so I didn't think they would hurt Abby, but they still kind of lacked in the horror department though. Like they could have done it better, that they could have shown like a wholesome side and a scary side, but they could have done it like a little better.
I feel like they were a little too goofy because, like, there was one part where I think what's the bunny's name? Is it Bonnie?
Yeah, Bonnie.
Yeah, Bonnie fell over and she gave like a thumbs
He-
up. I'm like, okay, it's a little too silly. Isn't it supposed to be scary? Like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
It was like it was made
I
for
mean,
like 12-year-olds, I guess.
I get it. Like, I get like there are children possessing them, so they're gonna be more childish in nature. But it still kind of
Right.
felt weird to me. Like you just saw them bite a girl's head off, and
Yeah,
now you see
oh,
them making a
oh.
fort. Now you see them
I-
building a fort.
I'd like to mention this one thing. So I usually don't talk during movies, and like I kind of I only laugh and that's about it. But we did have such a fun time there that when that girl got bit in half by Freddy, I did. I don't know how many people heard this. I'm assuming it was a lot, but I did yell out, "Was that the bite of '87?" as soon as she got bit. I did hear some laughs though, so I'm assuming people heard. That was too
You
funny.
made the scene hilarious. It was
Yeah,
Now-
I made it unintentionally hilarious.
whenever I like think about that scene, I'm just laughing now. Like it was like the bite of '87.
I was gonna make a Darth Maul joke, but then I realized Markiplier said a famous meme involving that, so I figured I should say it.
The bite of 87. You know, because like we talk about the movie not having stakes. They
Right.
kind of built in some stakes into the movie itself, but I feel like they were too cowardice to actually execute it.
Yeah, like the aunt and her cronies, I feel like they were just in the film as an excuse to get Mike to work there and as just be in the film to die, essentially. That was their only role.
Yeah. You could remove them from the time with his. There would be nothing lost from them being removed from the runtime. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
I feel like the dream sequences, like at first I cared, I'm like, okay, like this could be interesting and stuff, like this is gonna lead somewhere. But then they kept on doing it, and I just cared less and less about it. I'm like, okay, can you just reveal it already? I'm just sick of guessing.
Yeah, see that was the point I was going to get into. The dream sequences, if they were executed better, they could have been a very good motivation for both Mike and be a scary thing for the movie. He has to go there to lucid dream more vividly, basically. So
Right.
if he's lucid dreaming, he could still be attacked while in that area. They should have been swinging on him more as the nights progress. Like the first night, they kind of leave him alone. They give him get out of here. But, he wants to find out what happened to his kid brother. So he keeps going back to try to figure it out. And the animatronics get more aggressive night by night. That's how they could have did it, to have that sense of dread.
That's
and
how it wasn't like
also-
the first game as well.
and-
Like the first night's not that bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll have that sense of dread, and this original thing that they're doing. Because I don't think it's weird because they want to do like a lore movie. They want to put all this lore in, but then they invent a new way that Afton kills kids. Like, why was he kidnapping this little kid to kill him? Like, it doesn't make sense.
That's one of the mysteries of the film, I think, that they put in there on purpose, because he went out of his way to like drive all the way to Nebraska to kill this one kid. So clearly there was like a motive behind it, and
Exactly.
they're planning on making sequels, I think, so they're gonna try to explore that in another film. I'm
How
pretty
many
sure
sequels do you think they're gonna make?
they planned on making 3. That was
Yeah,
original
they're
plan.
gonna make as many FNAF movies as if people are gonna freaking watch it, they're gonna make it.
Yeah, I mean, like the games were originally supposed to be 3 games, and look how that turned out. I mean, you have
Yeah,
like
didn't it have
12 of
like
them.
it's 12? Damn, so it's gonna be like Fast and Furious.
It's gonna be it is. This is the new.
It might actually be 12 exactly. Wait,
Holy shit! I
yeah,
think that's
I
Okay.
more
think
than
so.
Fast and Furious has right now. I think they're on like 10.
Yeah, it's 12. It is 12 games. Yeah.
I mean,
Jeez.
the universe has kind of been expanded to allow for that sort of thing because um it's not just the Crying Child or Michael Afton. However, the whole shit is complicated, but it's not just focusing on one family anymore. You got different animatronic things happening everywhere. William Afton has a bigger influence than we realize. Even in death, he's freaking was it what's the word? He's not poltergeisting. He's
Possession.
he's possessing freaking computer chips and whatnot. So it's
Yeah.
like
Right.
We don't talk about that.
I always come back. That's
Yeah.
why.
If you really
That
think
line
about
sounds
it,
so forced.
if you really think about it, the movie actually doesn't have that much lore compared to the games and the books. Really, they only took like the lore from like the first game, and that was it.
Also,
Or like the
also,
third.
it didn't really feel like Five Nights. It felt more like 2.
Yeah, that shit was like
No,
that
no,
shit was like
it
a
was
night
Five
and a
Nights.
half.
It was 5 nights exactly, though. There were
Was?
5 nights. There were
Yeah,
5 nights
yeah,
in the
but the
movie.
problem with that is it should really be 7 nights because there's always 2 bonus nights.
Yeah, those are optional though.
Yeah,
And also,
those aren't canon.
besides the obvious Matt Pat cameo, I feel like the best part was probably Matthew Lillard, even though he wasn't really that good. Because I feel like he's like one of those likable actors because I liked him in Scream and he's like the Kevin Conroy of Shaggy voice actors, but I feel like I feel like I feel like in here he was pretty good too, but I couldn't take him seriously because I could just imagine Shaggy going, "Like I always come back, man."
I always come back, man.
I actually
Where's
did.
Move?
I actually did like Matthew Lillard's performance in there.
I'm not saying it's
I
bad. I'm just it
yeah
feels like a little. It feels kind of like it feels nutty, you know. Like it kind of feels like he's kind of overacting. Like, 'cause there's like
Gateway.
there's like a difference between like I guess I don't know. It just feels like something's off a little bit.
So what you're saying is that he's Jim carrying the role.
I guess sort of, but
I'm not gonna hold you. And I like the Sonic movie. I like both Sonic movies. I don't need Robotnik having a fucking 5-minute dance off in his ship. Like
I don't really I haven't seen the second movie, but I think I remember
like
the
that
first
shit
movie.
worked. That shit worked in the mask when you was Cuban Pete. That shit does not work as fucking Robotnik. I'm supposed to try to take you seriously, and I can't because you just like I don't know.
To be
You want
fair,
to get your Disco Inferno
it is
dreams
kind of
off,
a kids movie, so
but
bro.
anyway,
Mario also had Peach and Peaches, so
back to the FNAF movie. I will say that I didn't hate it. Like there were things in there that I did enjoy, but like they could have like done a little bit more with the horror, like putting the animatronics in like darker rooms or something, or like having more like stakes, or like make Mike actually like in danger in the film. I didn't feel like he was in danger. Like he got through, I think, 4 nights unscathed. Like only the 5th night did they start attacking him, and I feel like
yeah.
like yeah, he didn't even find out that the animatronics are possessed until like the 3rd night, and that just doesn't seem right to me.
Yeah, they really like floundered on what people like a baseline of what FNAF is. Obviously, there's more to it than like surviving the nights. There's lore and whatnot, but
Yeah,
you kind of that's like a come to work item. the sense of dread that you get from managing all the power and whatnot, and like these animatronics coming for your ass. Like,
But one other thing is that I think they showed the ghost kids too early. I think it would have been better for the mystery if you saw these animatronics come into life, and at first you're wondering like, why are they coming to life, and then reveal the ghost kids. When you show that they're already like haunted, you already know what's happening. It kind of takes the mystery out of it. Like that was
Right.
what was special about like the first game is that all you're told is that these animatronics just roam free and all their programming's all messed up. But you start to notice things as you're playing the game, like they look right into the camera and have like white eyes, or you hear like kids' laughter or groaning or stuff like that.
well, the problem is they wanted to have this backstory of
Yeah,
him being able to lucid dream and try to find his brother. So you're gonna find this like if they would have like maybe executed that differently or gutted all
yeah.
together, you would have had what you were saying. We don't know what these animatronics are. They just wilding out.
Yeah, and then like over the course of the different nights, he slowly starts to figure out like these things are like possessed by kids, and one way that they could have shown that is like, yeah, if they were being like not hostile towards Abby, for example, like that's how we would have realized that. Like I kind of thought that they overdid it with that wholesome moment where they were building the fort. I'm like, I didn't come here to see them build like a pillow fort or something.
I'm
I
not
came
gonna
here, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I kinda that I didn't mind that scene because of all the problems that movie has, the pillow fort scene isn't really part of the problem. If anything, that's good writing because they've been introducing the idea of protection and pillow forts the whole movie. It's just that was like the culmination of it. Does it make
Oh,
sense
okay,
with
yeah.
Does it make sense with FNAF? No, not really. But it made sense with the story. And I think that's the problem because this isn't it's like half of a FNAF movie and half someone's fan fiction. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like they could have executed it better. There could have been a way that they could have shown the scariness and the wholesomeness and like put it together. Like maybe like Mike would find out, hey, these things aren't really so bad after all, and then you have William after and like take control over them at the end or something like that, and then they're gonna try to kill them.
Can we talk about how Chilving's drawings have defeated William Afton?
I know. That's
That's so stupid.
Not the spring lock snapping. It was like
It was a fucking it was a goddamn drawing.
well,
Like I can handle the spring lock happening, but those drawings terrify me, Scoob.
that was the Quantumania Kang getting destroyed by ants moment of that
Do
movie.
not
I
compare that to that fucking monstrosity. That is awful. Oh my
but
god.
I do know why they put the drawings in there. One of the books had the memories of the children and like kids' drawings, and they had to like piece it back together to restore their memories or something. But the way that I guess what they were trying to go for is that the drawings restored their memories in a way, and that's why the drawings made them attack William at the end.
That's cool. That's actually cool. I'm no hyperbole. That is actually cool. The problem is the way that William quote unquote dies in FNAF is that the spirits are tired of his shit and they want to kill him. And he freaks out. He jumps in the suit. And I guess he just too reckless with it. The spring locks kill him. Well, or at least put him near death because he doesn't die ever.
Well, I
Even
mean,
in, even
he
in,
does. He did technically die. He possessed the suit, so that's
yeah,
still a death.
yeah. He's, but you know that's how he dies. And I guess in the game they show that like the building is overrun. The shit is murky. Shit is leaking. So the environment has a lot of water vapor in it, and the spring locks don't do well with water. They did like
It
So
was
that
that and multiple reasons why it broke down.
so that's how he dies. So you're trying to combine it with this picture lore,
Yeah.
and it doesn't hit. It was a cool attempt, but it I don't know, maybe the cinematography didn't sell it, because there was one scene where he's just holding the side where Cupcake bit him, which was also weird. But he's just like and looks cheaply done, and I'm just like,
If you think that was weird, you should have heard about what they originally wanted to do.
what did they originally want to do?
It was like really weird. I think like they just started like beating him up or something, and he like falls on
They
his
should have
knees.
put the beats on him.
But
What
they
the
were going to
fuck?
open up his like mask, like the mouth in his mask, to drop the cupcake in there. You were going to hear like grinding and blood coming out. Like the cupcake was like,
God.
Yo,
yeah,
pause.
Dude,
that was what they originally wanted to do.
I feel
think.
like that would have leaned more towards the R territory, so I can see why they didn't do that.
Yeah,
Actually, the creator Scott Cawthon wanted these movies to be rated R. It was actually Blumhouse that made it PG-13.
Wow, a bunch of
That
pussies.
that blew my mind when I first heard it. Like the horror company wants it to be PG-13.
Well, I mean, it's PG-13. They can get one fuck, right?
I don't even know if anybody said fuck in there.
They can get one.
They always fucking come back.
But
Abby, fucking come back. Your word. Where would you put the one fuck for FNAF?
Yeah, like the most iconic line in the film, obviously. It's just a fucking theory.
I always fucking come back.
Was that the fucking bite of 87?
Will you destroy that fucking pizzeria and get him fired?
Also, I completely forgot about who's that one chick? I forgot her name.
Vanessa.
Yeah, like, was she even necessary for the actual film itself?
She was literally there to tie in the VR.
Yeah,
she does not belong in that movie because she's from later on in the timeline.
Exactly.
She's from like Security Breach and Help Wanted. She's not from the first game.
They're trying to do some fucking composite FNAF shit where like everything is happening at once type shit.
I think they did that to attract like the younger fan base who are like more familiar with the newer games, but it's kind of weird. She felt misplaced in the film.
She definitely felt like she didn't belong there.
And the reveal that she was William's daughter, to me, I did not like that, since like William and like the games had like 3 kids and like all of them I think like die in like one brutal way or another.
I feel like they playing musical chairs with the children, bro. Like I get you don't want Abby killed by a baby animatronic, but like y'all gotta make this shit make sense, dog. Like y'all want to be lore accurate, but then you want to make up some new shit. Like you can't have it both ways, my guy.
And yeah, it's just really weird about that. Like, why was she like in the movie? Like,
I don't know. It's very weird. I just feel like I don't know. And also I actually was thinking about this for a while now. It's kind of weird that YouTubers are now making cameos in movies, because this wasn't the first time this happened. Because in Free Guy, I don't know if you've seen it, but like there's YouTubers like Jacksepticeye and Ninja and Pokimane that all show up in the movie. And
hell yeah, I gotta buy Free Guy.
It's on Disney Plus, but I mean, I saw it just because Jack was part of it, because I love his videos. But I'm like, it feels kind of weird because he didn't play like a specific part. It was actually him, like with his whole channel and everything, just talking. He
played as him.
yeah, he appeared twice, I think, in the film.
Yeah, no, he had like a couple. Yeah, he had a couple cameos, but it just feels weird. Like YouTubers are now like main celebrities now, because Markiplier was supposed to be in this. Matt Pat showed up. Corey Kenshin, And then Ninja showed up in Free Guy. It's very weird. And Smosh had their own movie. It's like it's very crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, about like the spring lock scene, I was really disappointed by that because the spring locks are supposed to, like, when they fail, they penetrate into like every square inch of your body. This one, they were just like a metal rib cage that like closed in on you.
Well, that
Like,
wasn't actually how it looked.
no, like the spring locks were like in like the inside of the suit, and they like hold back the animatronic part so that you can fit inside. And when they fail, all the animatronic parts like impale into you on like every part of your body, and it's really brutal. Like, I thought they could have done that scene a lot better. Like, I was imagining like pools of blood all over the place and like screaming, but this one he's just like, oh, the pain, oh, I'm bleeding out, man.
I think I'm dying here, man.
Scoob, give me a Scooby snack, man.
My mom and dad are gonna be so mad at me.
I'm
If you
supposed
he's
to have been
cutting
back
teeth.
home an hour ago, Scoob.
I was movie track. Sorry, we're tangenting too. We're having way too much fun.
We're tangenting, Scoob. Come on.
We gotta focus on the topic, man.
But I was going into that movie actually looking forward to the spring lock scene, and I was really disappointed by that. There was like
And
barely any blood at all.
right. It's
He
actually
deserved
disappointing that.
he deserves much worse than what he got in the movie.
Right. It's actually very disappointing that like video game projects like The Last of Us and Mario, they were really good this year, and now just ending it off with FNAF, it just feels very weird.
It
It's like
actually
that.
did. I think
It's like
it did
that
better than
cliche
Mario.
trilogy. It did? No, it did it cross 1 billion?
I think so. I don't know. I think it was like.
Hold on, I gotta check that. Hold on.
I think it was rated like one of the best horror movies of 2023.
That's not a horror movie, though. What part is scary?
No,
It did horrible.
it did.
Worldwide,
It
it got 289 million.
Oh, what did it get in America?
In America, I think it's domestic, 137 million.
Oh, okay. Then.
Yeah, Mario crossed 1 billion. I think it was like besides Barbie, like the only $2 billion movies this year. So yeah, and
Well,
like I
then
said,
maybe it
felt-
wasn't FNAF then, but it was like a movie. I think I don't remember. I heard it from
I think
somewhere.
no, I think you were talking about you were thinking of Mario because like Mario is actually good, and I enjoy.
Yeah.
I haven't
Mario's
seen The
great.
Last of Us, but I've heard good things about The Last of Us. So like it's crazy that I thought they were getting their shit together in terms of video game movies not sucking, but this was just kind of like
Well,
people
I
would
mean-
consider this like one of the worst movies of 2023, and even I gave it like 2.5 stars. Even I would say I'm like, yeah, no, it's definitely on the low tier.
I wouldn't say it sucks. I think 2.5 stars isn't fair. I mean, it wasn't a completely terrible movie.
Yeah,
It had some
that's
problems.
out of
but...
5. That's out of 5.
Oh, out of
because, like, I
5.
know-
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's halfway. So I thought I have no opinion about it either way. I'm like, it's like the only movie where I'm like, okay, like I don't really love it or hate it. I just kind of want to get out of here.
There were things I did like the design of the animatronics. I appreciate they didn't use CGI. They used
was
actual
cool.
like real animatronics, and some scenes there were people in the suits.
Practical
And
effect.
I think they made them look really good. And the few scenes where they did try to do horror or like try to like kill off some people, like when they were breaking
Yeah,
in, those
Like the
scenes
Bite of
I
87.
it's not, yeah. Those scenes were effective, and it was like it just because it was like one scene of the movie. Like I just kind of wish it was like the whole movie was like that in a way, but
Right. So
and there were like some things I did like about the movie, but there were also some things I hated about it, and it kind of
right.
prevents me from making like a full opinion. And it is true that this film was made like for the fans exclusively, so lots of ordinary people who watch it probably wouldn't like it as much. But I am a fan, and it didn't meet my expectations. So
Right. I would say it is better than like Quantumania or Indiana Jones 5, but compared to other stuff like John Wick or like
it does
Across the
doesn't even compare.
Spider-Verse, it does not compare to either of those. Like,
That's not even fair. You can't compare this shit
You,
to John Wick.
yeah, I mean, John Wick's gonna be better than any movie if you
John Wick
compare
is
it.
in
I
a
mean, you can't.
John Wick is in a class by itself.
right. I'm just comparing it to movies of 2023, but yeah, I
So
would say it's like in the middle road for me.
so when the Pokemon movie Detective Pikachu came out, people was giving that movie shit too because plot wasn't good or whatever. When I saw it, I was like, okay, I don't really like this, but this style of cinematography kind of works. If you were to like do like a retelling of like Red/Ash's adventure through Kanto, like the first Pokemon League, like the first like eight badges, 8 gyms, you leave 4. If you did some shit like that in this art style, it could work. This is a good baseline for a live action Pokemon. But this movie needed more work. It needed more time to bake. I kind of feel that way about the FNAF movie. The way the animatronics pop out, they feel like they came out of the games. They've done
Right.
like this could be a good setup for FNAF movies. How the animatronics look, how the setting look, the pizzeria look like the pizzeria.
Yeah.
Like
That was a real place that they built as well.
Yeah, like they got the set pieces right, they got the animatronics right. It was the story that wasn't too good. The story was kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I feel like the film had a lot of potential that if they took the things that were really good and like heightened it, it would have been like a great movie, probably like one of the best. But it kind of had a lot of wasted potential, and
They wasted
think
too much. They wasted too much time on shit that ultimately didn't matter.
And one of the biggest problems I did notice when leaving the theater is the daytime scenes. I don't think they knew what to do with between the nights. Like after you beat night 1, like in the games it goes straight to night 2. But what happens in between there? Like I don't think they really knew what to do with that. That's why the story seemed to jump all over the place.
The Matt Pat scene was like a good example of a good daytime scene. Maybe I'm biased because that's my guy.
Yeah, it's Matt Pat.
I feel like everybody was like collectively agreeing that it was probably the best part.
That was
Corey Kenshin.
His part was good.
I do like Corey Kenshin, yeah.
And I also laughed like at the end credits when he sees the balloon boy toy
shit,
and he's
or
like,
whatever, yeah.
I think he was actually going to say like what the fuck in there, but they cut that out.
That's where they put the fuck. That's where they put it.
That's good. Yeah, they should have put that there.
But Corey Kenshin, he doesn't swear. He doesn't. I don't think he swears in any of his videos. So
he hangs out with Dashi. Of course, he swears, doesn't he?
But he didn't want to swear in that movie.
Yeah,
I don't think he does as much as Dashi.
Yeah,
I think he barely ever.
You should have put it there. What the fuck?
Open the fucking door! I need to.
Yo,
dude, he needs to show up. They are making a sequel. They have announced it. I think that they're like trying to make one. He should appear in the sequel.
I want Markiplier to be in the sequel just because it feels weird not having it there.
But the good news is that I think the sequel has more potential than the first one because Scott Cawthon, the creator, even said that he read every praise and every complaint with this movie and he's trying to learn from it. So I think many of the problems that are with this film, he's going to try to fix in the second one because he wrote like the screenplay and I think like the story for this film. I don't know about the story, but I think he did write the screenplay for the film, and they're trying to like rewrite things for like the second.
Yeah, but I feel like listening to everybody is a bad idea, because even if you make like the best script possible, it's still not going to please everybody. Because I know some people who don't like Across the Spider-Verse even, and that had a great script. And like,
Whoa!
yeah, no, there are some people online that's like,
Okay,
yeah, the movie's overrated.
I bet. So everyone's entitled to their opinion, but on this one, you're fucking wrong. And I'm gonna tell you why. This whole movie was Gwen trying to explain to everyone that's on the team at the end of the movie what happened and why we gotta go save Miles. I don't know if people peeped that, but the intro shows different things that happen within the movie while she's narrating. Like, and then you see the end of the movie where, Miles is like, yo, let me go. He's like, and then, 42 Miles is like, why would I do that? And then puts the fist to the post that he's on. And then Spot comes out thinking he's him. He's like, about to fuck all this shit up. Then you see Peter Parker, I think part of Peter B. Parker and his daughter. She's freaking hand upside down. Yo, look at this shit. What the fuck? Yo, get down from there. And then you see Gwen in front of the portal. Let's do this. No words, but the expression on her face is, let's do this. And then they go back to her narrating. They're like, yo, I never really fit in anywhere. So I made my own team. And they all go to the 42 to help Miles. That shit was so beautiful, bro. Like,
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Like, just realizing what it was, like, because I liked the movie regardless, because that shit had action. The shit was funny.
That was hilarious. I love
shit was moving. And then you realize they did throw some deep shit in there. They put their foot in that movie. All those different Spider-Mans in the freaking whatever that shit is, Web of Life and Destiny area that they was in. Like, a lot of love was put into that shit. How the fuck can you say that movie wasn't good?
You can't please everybody.
Did we watch the same movie?
I'm sure there are people out there.
Go on, Joe.
I'm sure there are people out there that don't like Breaking Bad. I haven't seen any, but it's like the highest rated show of all time. I'm assuming there's some people that are like,
I can't weigh in on that one, but numbers don't lie.
Right.
I know someone who said he got bored like halfway through and just quit.
Oh,
Breaking
really?
Bad. Yeah.
Damn. All right. Well, we found that one.
But like, even if you make like the best script possible, another thing that people have to consider is execution of that script. Even if you write a perfect script, you still have to execute it good.
That is
true. And for that, you need like good producers, directors, and all that stuff. So just simply like rewriting a script, like you kind of have to like do a lot more than that to like improve like a sequel or something.
Well, I got two things I want to say. First off, I think it's good that, and I call this knowledge pooling. It's a Magic the Gathering card, but you ain't gotta worry about that part. Taking in different ideas and perspectives from people, because that's how you get better, by iterating on what you're doing, taking in feedback. So he should listen to everyone, but he shouldn't take it as gospel and he has to do it this way, this way, this way. He should take what was said, the most egregious things, deal with them, and then play with the other things. Like, obviously, the lack of dread, I think this next movie is going to have way more dread in it. I 100% agree that, that's probably going to be one of the chief complaints, and he's going to deal with that. But other nitpicks, you could take it or leave it type shit.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna like deal with like the nitpicks, but like he already kind of has like, I think like the story written for like the 3 movies. I think like they already did that like ahead of time. They're just like doing some small minor tweaks, but I think it's still gonna end up like being the same as he like originally intended it. Yeah. Just a little bit different.
Yeah.
The next. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I got one more point, but get it off.
Yeah, no, you can say that point. I'm just saying we are almost an hour in, and I'd like to do the other topic.
All right, so my last thing about this. So the One Piece live action, right? A lot
Yeah.
of people said that it was good. I'm one of those people who agrees that it was really well done. The reason why it was really well done, and this is a manga anime adaptation going to live action, and a lot of these were bad. Just look at Dragon Ball or Rurouni Kenshin or Full Metal Alchemist, Cowboy Bebop. Great shows, but don't transition well into live action. What made One Piece different? I believe it's execution. You had people involved in the story and the production that really gave a shit about making it the best adaptation it could be. And I'm not saying that there wasn't that level of um, you know, ambition and wanting to do that for FNAF. I think that was there. I think the people involved really wanted it to be the best movie it could be.
Yeah.
But there were some things that probably should have been left on the cutting room floor. But someone in that production team had to have been abstinent about having this aunt there. Because she's not there for the back end of the movie. But she's definitely front loaded into that shit. And she doesn't add anything to the movie. As a matter of fact, I wish I could go into freaking the video editing room. Bitch out of here. Like, she don't do nothing. I'm sure that's why, like, when you tell me that he's taking, I think that's part of it too. He's gonna have to cut your darlings, the stuff that you think is gonna work well, but ultimately, for the whole of the movie, it's not gonna work well. You're gonna have to cut it.
Yeah, I mean, like, we didn't need the aunt to, like, take away his sister. All we really needed was, hey, he doesn't have enough money to afford taking care of her, therefore he goes there. Like,
Yeah,
you could have just written her out.
Yeah, there's better ways they could have did that. And I feel like and they don't have to be on, and I might be overpraising it, but they don't have to be on One Piece's level. But the production for this next FNAF movie, they need to be more unified in the vision, and they need to execute a good FNAF movie. Because, like, everyone, like, your first one, even if you do bad or whatnot, it's going to make money because it's the first one. People want to see it. Now, when you're on your sophomore, your second one, you really got to put your foot in there, because now people are going to judge you. They have a frame of reference. If you make another ass movie, it's like, oh yeah, the finale got 2 ass movies, bro. They don't watch the third one. The fuck,
Right.
So there's more pressure on them to make the second one good. So I feel like they need to take some notes from the One Piece production and do similar things. Make sure it's FNAF. It shouldn't be ass. It's one of those IPs that's like commands like a lot of eyes and attention. People love FNAF. Don't make an ass version of this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess we can just go into our closing thoughts. Jake, out of 10, how would you rate this movie?
Out of 10, I
out
would
of
say
5.
out of 5, I would rank it 3 out of 5 for me.
Okay.
That's about halfway.
And
Because
Berg,
again,
what about you?
yeah,
I give it a 3 out of 5.
I'd say probably 2.5, because like it's like right in the middle. I don't really have any strong opinions about it one way or another, because I just don't care about FNAF as much as other people do.
I don't care about FNAF. Well, I'm not gonna say at all. I do care. Like if I see a FNAF video, I'm watching that shit, because the lore is interesting. So I guess I'm a fan in that aspect. Like I want to see where it goes, because like it's kind of like Attack on Titan. Like I don't like that like all these people were dying and whatnot, but like you had a clear goal in mind for the end of this series. So I want to see it play out. I want to see the FNAF thing play out. I want to see where they go with this.
I will say, I do consider myself a fan. I'm like really hyped. Like whenever a new game comes out, like I think Help Wanted 2 just came out recently.
Yeah,
I'm watching like gameplays of that, and one more thing. When I first went, one thing that I think that they could have changed, like for the final thought, the dream sequence, instead of being a dream sequence, his trauma could have been the bite of 83 for FNAF 4. That would have been better.
There's a bite of 83?
Yes, there was.
That's
what I thought going into it, because when I saw casting for his little brother, I'm like, he looks a lot like the crying child. I wonder if they're gonna do.
He really does.
I'm wondering if they're gonna do something with this.
What even is the bite of 87? Like, is that just something made up?
No, it was mentioned in the first Five Nights at Freddy's as an explanation for why the animatronics don't walk around during the daytime. They said that they're like programmed to walk around at night because if they're shut off too long, the servos will lock up. Apparently, someone got their frontal lobe bit off by one of the animatronics in 1987. And I think we kind of identified that to be like somewhere in FNAF 2 because that takes place in 1987. It's a prequel. I don't know if the movie's going to be a prequel or not, but I know the game was. And in there, I think there's like a rumor that like the security guard we play as is the victim of the bite of 87 because on night 7, they have us play as a different character in that final one. So I think that's like the current like status on it.
I think based on how this first movie ended, I think the sequel is going to go a FNAF 3 direction where Afton possesses the Bonnie suit and starts wilding out.
And they might have the toy animatronics in there, which I never found them as creepy. It would be funny if they actually make them creepier than the ones in the first one. That would be kind of interesting to me.
Right. I wonder if they're going to Easter egg this shit and have Chica be twerking and shit.
No, they won't go that far. I'm pretty sure they won't.
You guys will have plenty of time to theorize it because I found this on Facebook. Apparently, it's shooting in spring of 2024, and it's trying to get a Halloween release. So that's gonna be looking pretty soon.
Yeah, that's not that far away. I'm gonna be looking forward to it actually because, like with sequels, sometimes they're worse than the previous one, but this one I feel like might be better. And me personally, I did like the second game better than the first. Like the first will always have like nostalgia for me, but I do like the second game, like for like the story and stuff. I like that better.
So, yeah, those were good closing thoughts. It says 58 minutes. It might be a little less, but I feel like we should just go to the next topic. So, speaking of, I guess, franchises, so the DCEU is basically wrapping up with Aquaman 2 being the final movie in the, I don't even know if you call it the Snyderverse anymore, the first DC universe that was kind of in competition with the Marvel Cinematic Universe for about 10 years now. It is closing the chapter, and it ended with Aquaman 2. I think it ended it came out Friday, I think. So what are your guys' thoughts on the whole universe, like in general?
Well, I think when it first came out with Man of Steel was great, but I have noticed a trend that, minus the Snyder cut, all the team-up movies for them sucked, and all the solo movies were like, well, not all of them, but most of the solo movies were like much better than the team-up ones.
Does Batman v Superman count as a team-up?
Yeah, because it has more
I
than
guess
one.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
That's
Blake, what are your thoughts?
The DCEU. All right, so it's really hard for me to take shots at DC because I do like DC. I like Batman. I like the idea of a Justice League. Like, I think Superman, if written well, is cool. Like, I like the Man of Steel movie a lot. There were some things in there that were kind of stupid, like the whole don't use your powers shit, but you could have been saved. But Dad want to be fucking stupid, fucking hide the powers. But like the DCEU, I think outside of maybe one and the Snyder cut for Justice League, I don't think I liked Man of Steel's part of it. Outside of those three movies, I don't think I liked a single DC outing, and some of them I skipped because of the fuck they've been doing since Man of Steel.
What were the three? It was Man of Steel, and...
Man of Steel, Wonder Woman 1, and
Yeah.
Justice League Snyder Cut. Even though that shit shouldn't have been fucking 8 hours on it. I'm surprised I watched all that shit.
Yeah, I know that was
Right.
long.
But I liked it.
I did like,
I kind of wanted more, to be honest.
I will say I did love the first Wonder Woman, and the second one, I don't even know how the fuck to describe it. It was
I hated the second one. Like
It was
at
atrocious.
first, I was like,
I heard it was a complete dumpster fire, so I skipped it.
It was.
Like, I don't want to hate one. Just skip this.
At first, I was like, it was okay, but then the more I thought about it, I'm like, that was kind of ass, and like just like the whole fucking wish thing and all that, and they wasted Pedro Pascal, and like the Cheetah looked awful. I'm just like, there's just so much wrong.
I blocked that movie out of my mind. I don't think I can like recollect anything from it except like a few like glimpses because it was so bad.
All right, Joe. I got a serious question for you. Even though it's a joke meme question, I do, but I actually want to know which is worse, Wonder Woman 2 or Black Widow?
Wonder Woman 2 by far.
I'm never watching that shit.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad, and like I might be biased because I don't hate Black Widow as much as you do, but I feel like that Wonder Woman 2. I think Wonder Woman 2 is like on the top 3 of my. I didn't make a list, but it's like top 3 worst DCEU movies. It's awful. Like I think it's like besides like Birds of Prey and maybe Justice League, I'd say it's like it's up there with them. It's awful.
God.
Yeah.
Yo. Black Widow is fucking horrible, bro.
This is fucking worse. Like the whole wish thing and all that, and like it just I don't even know what the fuck happened in that movie. It felt very campy and all that. It's just Steve was not. He was there, but technically not. Like,
Which one was Steve again?
Which one was
Steve again? Oh, I blocked that movie out so much. I don't even remember.
It just felt so weird, and they shoehorned her in like flying and all that, and knowing how to like make an invisible jet and all that. Like, yeah, that's cute. They kind of put in the two things that Wonder Woman. Like, I don't even know if she's known for flying, but the invisible jet I think was like a classic thing in the comics, and it's like, yeah, it's cute they did that, but like,
where was all that flying in the Justice League? Where was all that? Like,
I don't know. Did she even fly in either of them?
No.
That's so weird.
They just made her fly for this one for no reason.
I mean, she has an invisible jet, but if you can't execute that, then you just gotta go home.
They gave her the.
And she's like lassoing lightning or some shit. Like, what the hell is going on? I'm dead serious. I saw it in the trailer. I'm like, what the? Is she fucking lassoing lightning? How the fuck does that work?
Oh, yeah. There was a scene there. Yeah, she was like, it's just like swinging like Spider-Man would, except instead of doing it to buildings, she's riding a fucking thunderstorm.
It's like Spider-Man swinging on clouds. Like, what the fuck? How does she do that? It makes no sense.
So I thought Birds of Prey was bad.
It is.
I don't know.
It is. I didn't even finish Birds of Prey. It was so bad.
All right, so I I made 2 movie reviews, and I did it out of anger because I'm not a movie guy like that. But I
It's just
saw
like
it.
I fucking hate these movies. I gotta say it in
I,
anger.
I saw the Sonic movie, and it was good. It was
The first one?
the first one. I saw both of them, but I'm talking about the 2 videos I made. I saw the Sonic movie, and it was really good. Like a lot better than I thought it was gonna be because whole thing with the eyes and these people are just throwing when it comes to making live action. We thought, oh, not again. But Sonic turned out to be good. So why, around the same time Birds of Prey comes out, these people are hating on the Sonic movie, saying that it was transphobic, it was against people, it wasn't a good, bro.
It was.
They,
Oh
they,
my
they,
god! I think I heard that.
the most wild shit they were saying about this movie.
Oh,
So
the most like transphobic thing you can imagine. A blue hedgehog. Horrible.
so
Absolutely
Blue
horrible.
Hedgehog and Jim Carrey.
so
Like
when
what
I
the
so when I read that, I made 2 movie reviews. I made a review on the Sonic movie, and I made a review movie on Bird. I went to the movie theaters and watched that shit. I'm like, y'all talking all this shit like Birds of Prey is this amazing movie that people missed out on. This is a gem of a movie. Bro, that shit actually may have worse pacing issues than Batman v Superman. You literally got like 5 different stories going on. You got the Birds of Prey themselves. You got Harley Quinn dealing with the fallout with Jay. Then you got a whole new storyline of the bad guys coming for you because you blew up the chemical plant, whatever. Then you got Huntress with her backstory that barely gets any screen time. Then you got Cassandra Cain, who she's supposed to be Batgirl, but y'all got her doing some thievery shit. And I'm just like, why? Like,
So it's
bro,
like the Marvels, but it's like the DC version of that. Like just characters we don't give a shit about.
Well, I actually enjoyed the Marvels. I didn't enjoy this shit. I'm just perplexed watching this shit. Like, whose movie is this? You could tell by the title. Harley, Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn and the Emancipation, whatever proclamation bullshit. Like,
Proclamation.
like, why is this? Why are you bordering on Kingdom Hearts levels of fucking titles? Like, this is crazy, bro.
I never even saw the movie. I didn't even bother.
It's bad.
It's unfocused. If they picked any one of those 5 plot lines and made a movie, it probably would have been alright. But because they want to stuff all this stuff together, like, and you know what's bad? The Birds of Prey is actually kind of a cool group. You won't get that now because they done fucked it up. I don't understand how people can be in charge of IPs and just don't give a fuck about what they produce with them. Like, that shit is crazy to me. Because you've seen examples of when people care, the story is like outstanding. And when people don't care, you get bullshit like Birds of Prey. So it's like, why do we can't allow them to keep getting away with this shit.
Right. And it just seems like DC's like so they did not have a plan going forward because originally it was supposed to be Zack Snyder. Then there was unfortunate stuff with his daughter, so he had to back out. Then they made Justice League, and like they had Joss Whedon like completely redo the film, and then that turned out to be a failure. It's like fuck, we can't compete with Marvel, so we got to just do our own thing. And then they just decided to like sideline their 2 biggest heroes, Batman and Superman, and decided to focus on like Aquaman and Shazam and fucking the Suicide Squad. And it's like, wait, where the fuck is Superman and all that? And people were wondering what happened because like in Shazam and I think it was something else like Peacemaker, Cavill never showed up. It was either a stunt double or like somebody completely different that showed up for Superman. They never showed his head, and finally, yeah. I mean, they didn't show his head. They showed like his body and all that. Like, And then finally in Black Adam, Cavill finally shows up, and then they just wiped that away. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are they just so unorganized? This is like the most dysfunctional universe ever. And I've seen Evil Dead. Like, this is more dysfunctional than that, because at least you can kind of tell where the Evil Dead movies lie. Like, okay, this is like kind of the sequels directly after the first one, then blah 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 and all that. But like, it just feels like DC has no plan going forward, because Spider-Man No Way Home brought in all three Peters. They used them all very well, and they know that Tom Holland's like the main MCU Spider-Man. DC has like 4 different Batmen, and they have trouble figuring out which one they want to keep. Like, they brought in Keaton, they forgot Ben Affleck existed. Like, okay, yeah, let's get him in. They put in fucking Clooney for God knows why, and then there's like a Elseworlds The Batman with Robert Pattinson, and that was actually good. So, but they didn't want Matt Reeves doesn't want that to be like its own. He wants it to be its own thing. So, like, what the hell are you doing? It just seems so crazy that this whole universe with arguably better characters than Marvel is just like the most dysfunctional fucking franchise ever, that they just had to call it quits 10 years in.
So this is what they should have did. And they're not going to like this, but this is what they should have did. They should have let the Dark Knight trilogy be the lead-off point for the DCEU. Man of Steel was good. Could have kept that. Batman v Superman should not exist, at least not in the way that it exists currently. That movie was like 3 different plot lines. World's Finest, some fucking Zod shit, and fucking what was the shit that came out at the end of the shit? Dark Side, Doomsday. Those were 3 different fucking movies.
And one woman also showed up in the movie.
Well, she's more of a cameo. She was that was some Black Panther in
Civil War.
In Civil War shit. So that was fine. I'm actually fine with that. But if they would have did those 3 plots as separate movies, it would have been fine. Doomsday could have been the first, like, villain. Like, he could have been the Justice League villain. Like, Batman can't deal with this. Superman can't deal with this. We need help.
Right. Yeah, he would be a Justice League level threat.
Exactly. That's how they should have started it off.
It feels like it just feels like Batman v Superman was made way too early, because they didn't even have like a developed Batman at the time.
Batman v Superman was a response to the Avengers.
Right. It just feels like it was in competition for it was supposed to be like Barbenheimer before that was a thing. Like, Batman v Superman or Civil War, which one makes it on the top? And it feels like it's crazy that a movie with the 2 biggest superheroes of all time turns out just to be like a fart in the wind. Like, what the fuck? Like, that was it? That's how it's supposed to go? Like, really?
Just in the wind.
And here's the thing is that Ben Affleck's Batman had great potential as well. I would have liked to have seen a solo movie with just him in it. The problem is just that the movies that he was in were kind of shit, minus Snyder Cut.
I enjoyed the Snyder Cut, yeah, but I feel like that it was kind of screwed him from the beginning, because people were saying online, like, oh, if Zack Snyder were to continue his universe, it would have rivaled Marvel. Newsflash: Zack Snyder's not that good. I hate to be the one that says it, because I liked Man of Steel, and Snyder Cut I think is the best of the like 15 movies, but I don't think Zack Snyder's all that. He's not like Christopher Nolan. He doesn't like. I feel like Batman v Superman was kind of like the sign that he doesn't really get either of them, because the whole Martha shit, Batman killing people. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
maybe. Why do you know that name?
Yeah, like, and people are saying the Ultimate Edition is like save the whole movie. I'm like, it only makes it like
Tell me.
it just makes it a smidge better. That's it. And I feel like I mean, the extended cut was needed because there were some plot holes that needed like to be resolved and all that. Like, how did Superman not see the bomb? Like, how did Superman not see the bomb explode in the White House? It was like apparently it was like with lead or some shit. Like the wheelchair was lead, and he can't see that or something
Yeah.
along those lines. And then
Yeah, you
fucking
can't see through that.
Well,
and
you know that name.
Yeah, and Steppenwolf shows up at the end, and that's what Lex Luthor was saying about like he's coming and he's found us and all that. I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense because Steppenwolf is like fucking Thanos of running the Accuser, so that makes sense. So like that tied up that loose end, but they still have the Martha scene, and it's so stupid.
Well, you know that name.
The thing is that I think I saw like a video or something of like Snyder or something like saying how Batman's not killing people or something, but he definitely is. Like there's a scene like where he's in a Batmobile, like and the car like literally blew up, or like when he was shooting at them, he's like, yeah, those people survived. I'm like, no, they didn't. They're dead. They blew up.
He's accidentally killing people. Like
that was an accident.
Yeah, and John Wick accidentally killed those people. Like what the hell, dude? He did it on purpose. You think it was fucking manslaughter?
An older Batman who's way more experienced than any other iteration of Batman we've seen accidentally killed some people. Yeah, right.
The only accident Batman has ever made, like in killing someone, was the Harvey Dent scene in The Dark Knight. I don't think he meant to kill him. He just wanted to.
No, he didn't. I don't even count that as a murder. I mean, like it was like save the kid or save the murderer, and he saved the kid. And
right.
I mean, he did tackle him, but he wasn't intending on killing him.
Batman isn't gonna always not kill somebody, but he's not out here deliberately guns drawn killing people. When he kills people, it's usually by accident or because he's in the fucking some type of vehicle or some shit. Like I don't understand how you don't get this. Like you,
even when he's in a vehicle, he's still careful not to kill anyone.
Exactly. The Batman animated series, that film noir Batman that was played in the 90s. That's that. If you need to know about Batman, you just watch that and you good money. Like we're not doing no research. This goes back again to like you gotta care about the IP you're adapting. Because if you don't know the little intricate details, you can miss some shit. And this isn't that intricate of a detail. It's kind of a come to work item. Batman ain't out here killing people.
Yeah, he's not the Punisher. I mean,
exactly. Yeah. I know they sound the same, but no, two different people.
It's like Daredevil killing Kingpin. Like you can't do that. Like it's very weird if he does it, and it just doesn't really.
Yeah, I mean, like Daredevil was 2 seconds away from.
He was. He was about to step
But the thing is,
for the greater good. Fuck this shit.
Fuck
look, I'm a Catholic.
Ruined my life. But but the thing is, he didn't do it. He didn't want to break his code, and he didn't want to destroy. He didn't want him to destroy who he was. That's what I loved about the show. But Batman's just like, fuck you. No, you're dead. And this, like, I feel like he would have no problem killing his version of the Joker, which, first of all, do it, but second of all, like, just, it just seems like he doesn't give a shit. Like, and apparently it's supposed to be like the Dark Knight Returns or whatever version of Batman, where he actually does kill people, which I think that was something that happened in the comics, but it just seems
but
weird.
you gotta build that up. You can't just, like, this is a new Batman. Y'all didn't want to continue from where the Dark Knight left off at. You left him in fucking wherever, Venice or wherever the fuck he was with Catwoman. And Alfred over here looking like, my man. Like, literally how that movie ends.
And it's crazy to think that the only billion-dollar movie in DC is Aquaman, which is like, he was like the most made fun of character in all of comic books, and then he just immediately became popular because of the one movie.
I'm not gonna lie, that's not Aquaman.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not shitting on the guy or nothing. I don't think when I think of Aquaman, I don't think of some chiseled Australian looking Roman Reigns motherfucker. Like no,
I just
cast him for something else. He's not Aquaman.
whenever I think of Aquaman, I just think of a man talking to fish.
Right.
That's
And
really what he is in the comics.
I did hear that Aquaman 2 is not doing very well. Like it's doing shit numbers, worse than the Marvels actually.
The Marvels isn't bad, man.
I'm talking box office wise, not like
no, but I'm
review-wise.
saying people aren't watching it because of Marvel throwing for the last couple of releases, but it's actually not. It could have been way worse. Like real talk, like that movie could be the new Black Widow, but they managed to make something that was actually pretty damn decent.
I feel like that's a little controversial, but I mean that's fine. I don't. I have no interest in seeing it at all. I'm just saying like it's because most people hate it. I feel like it's controversial to say.
I thought that shit was gonna be really fucking stupid, but they managed the entanglement shit well. They set up future movies. They set up the Young Avengers finally. Like Iman Vellani killed it as Miss Marvel, and I don't fucking like Miss Marvel the show all that much. But in the Marvels, I thought she was fucking damn near perfect. I wish Photon would have gotten more like identity, because like she's in the movie, obviously she does shit. But like all I know her to do is touch fucking quantum energy or whatever the term they use for it, and like end up like touching something you're not supposed to touch, and end up getting powers or going somewhere or being transported. Like I'm just like, I need to know you for something else. Like do some badass shit. All you just out here like being a scientist, which is cool. You want to experiment on shit, but like I need more. Like
do more evil stuff for a villain.
Well, not no. The villain. I ain't gonna lie. The villain is very forgettable. When I was talking about Photon, I was talking about the third Marvel.
Photon. Okay. I thought you were talking about someone else.
Monica Rambeau. No, Darbin, bro. This is not her fault. I'm not blaming Darbin for this. I'm blaming Marvel themselves for killing Ronan so early. So when it's time to use another Kree person, they got to use someone who no one's ever heard of. When they could have used Ronan. This isn't Darbin's fault. This is because Marvel's too quick to fucking kill villains instead of having them live to fight another day type shit. Like honestly, we need another Killmonger movie, or a movie where Killmonger is the villain. But we can't really get that unless they go to prequel territory or some what if shit, because he's dead.
Nearly every villain in the MCU is dead except for like the Abomination or something.
And he's not even a bad guy.
Yeah, I know.
He got converted.
Yeah,
Loki's not a bad guy either. He got converted.
Yeah. And Joe, Justin Hammer, I guess they just wrote him out of the story after Iron Man 2.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't need Hammer. Come on. He's probably coming back in Armor.
He is. I actually love him in Iron Man 2. I think he's one of the best parts about that. Just him like fucking dancing on stage and all that. His chemistry with Whiplash. I think it's hilarious. I want my board. It's so much fun.
They did make him a good one. They did make him a good wannabe Tony Stark, but he wasn't the best part of the film. I would say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've enjoyed him, but also just a little side tangent. In the next At Midnight podcast, if we ever did it, I actually thought of the AKA in my head. I was gonna say, "I want my Berg." I think that would have gotten you. Because for context for those for those who are seeing this pod but not the other, we did AKAs in the beginning and it took forever, but I just kind of just didn't really take it seriously and just said whatever the hell was in my head. I think I just said like fucking I don't even remember what the hell I said half the time. Like I always come back, I think I said one time, or like fucking Waluigi Defender or whatever.
It would be John
I just
shit.
John Wick, yeah. I just didn't care. I'm like, it's just say whatever the hell's on my mind. But I didn't really have that much clever shit, and I was just gonna say I want my burg as one of them
Hey
because I thought it was funny.
yo. Nah, that's cool though. I mean, it was a way to differentiate ourselves from other podcasts, and Thunder Pals is filled with a lot of references to shit. Like
Right, and
like we definitely like that's something that's we do it for people to catch it. If you don't catch it, that's fine. But if you do, it's like another thing. Like, oh shit, these guys are cool. They know about this type shit.
right.
But
I
yeah.
don't even know how far we've gotten in. It just says an hour ago. Oh, yeah. Well, it's about an hour and a half. I think we need to wrap it up. I think, yeah, just I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm watching the new DC universe because honestly, I'm one of those people that has the superhero fatigue right now. Like I've on both Marvel and DC. But I mean, good luck getting your shit together, DC. Maybe this reboot will make you better than Marvel because you've had some good heroes over the years, but you just use them in shit ways. Maybe you'll learn your lesson.
I would argue that no one's really experiencing superhero fatigue. You're experiencing mid fatigue because not DC, Marvel has never been always hitting it out the park. There's been down periods. Like I always go to Black Widow as a bad movie that Marvel's produced, but Iron Man 3 exists. Thor the Dark World exists. Like they've made subpar movies before. And they're going to continue to make subpar movies. I think the problem is that there's three problems. The first problem is that Endgame was too big of a movie to follow up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
They
like-
really, as much as I love Spider-Man, they should have ended it with that.
Yeah.
With Endgame or No Way Home?
Endgame. As much as I love those two Spider-Man movies that came out, I feel like after they tried to expand after Endgame, they're like, okay, what do we do? The main villain's dead. What now? And
Yeah,
they just ran out of ideas.
I don't know. It just, I mean, I'm kind of happy they did it because we wouldn't have gotten Loki or Guardians 3, and especially not No Way Home. But I feel like, compared to the Infinity Saga, there's more like stinkers than bangers because like I can't even count on one finger how many projects of the MCU and like after Endgame I actually enjoyed. Like Far From Home was good. I loved No Way Home. I thought Shang-Chi was fine until the third act. I didn't really care about anything else. Wakanda Forever was disappointing. Love and Thunder was fucking awful. I just don't really think there's that many good ones.
You misspelled WandaVision and Loki season 1.
Loki, yeah, I liked Loki and I enjoyed WandaVision, but it just feels like nothing really is just catching my vibe anymore. I just feel like because some of my friends are probably going to watch this. They're probably going to be surprised to know that I'm done with the MCU after Deadpool 3 because like I'm just so torn down as a fan. Back then, I used to like in high school. My friends could back me up. I used to be obsessed with the fucking franchise because like I used to be like, have like Iron Man stuff. Like I thought RDJ, he kind of still is my favorite actor, but like I just thought like Iron Man was like the coolest fucking superhero and just all this shit. Like looking back at it, I cringe, but like I that just kind of goes to show how good the MCU was, at least for me. Cause
Joe and I were like huge fans. Yeah.
Yeah, Endgame and Infinity War were like the two biggest movies of the 2010s, I'd argue, and I thought those movies were like very good. And the only way to go is down after just getting such peak and all that. And I'm like, okay, like maybe they're kind of just starting off slow. I gave Phase 4 the benefit of the doubt, like, okay, it's like the slow phase, but Phase 5, they should have gotten their shit together after Quantum Mania. And I'm like, really? Is this how it ends? All right.
I will admit I miss the old days. Like phase one, when they were first doing this, like the whole concept of movies being connected in the same universe was like a brand new concept, and I do miss that time. Like when I was younger, like I do miss that time of like going to see the movie. And I'm like, man, these are all connected. Like when I saw Avengers, I think I was like, what, 6 or something. I loved that movie because it took all my favorite heroes and put them into one. I'm like, this is the best film ever made. They can never top this. Well,
yeah, it was
so
such a revolutionary thing because no one's done it before.
That goes into my second point because I had 3. They didn't make an Avengers tie-in movie for Phase 4.
Yeah, that's true. This is the only phase that doesn't have an Avengers type movie.
That really is what, because the Avengers movies kind of codify and unify everything that's been leading up to that point. And the fact that they didn't have one, or even because, like I told you, they set up Young Avengers in the Marvel. They should have been set up Young Avengers because they were doing that in Phase 4 by introducing all these like children or teenagers next to an established hero already. They was doing this already, but they just didn't make it official. They didn't have the Nick Fury, it's doing the Avengers Initiative type shit. It took fucking Miss Marvel to do it at the end of the Marvels.
Yeah, didn't she do that exact same line?
She did, but it works for her because she's a fanboy, so it works. But yeah, not making an Avengers movie to make all of this shit make sense, that really hurt Phase 4 more than anything. More than She-Hulk twerking, more than Hawkeye not doing shit, more than Moon Knight not moon-knighting. The fact that you extended, like you put your branches out and you did all this different shit, you showed all these different perspectives and heroes in the multiverse, and you didn't bring it together, you just kind of let it keep expanding. That's probably the biggest misstep out of this whole Phase 4 shit. Regardless how you feel about the shows or not, they're not unified.
Yeah.
And then my third reason why you may or may not be enthused with and this is more of a theory, like, because after each show or movie, I'm watching Screen Crush, New Rockstars to try to have them kind of digest the movie and give it back to me, so I can be like, oh yeah, that happened.
What? Yeah.
That one of them, I think it was New Rockstars. They brought up a really good point, and we don't know if this is true. This is like theory crafting, but I think Sony, them playing hardball with Spider-Man, kind of messed up the MCU a little bit.
Definitely.
Because they wanted, well, it's not that they wanted. I think Downey and Evans, I think they were kind of done with being the leads of the MCU, and Feige is scrambling to have that new person who's going to be the face of the shit. Spider-Man is right fucking there. You really can't get a bigger. So I think they were kind of not completely relying on him, but they wanted him to kind of be like the glue that kind of holds everything together.
Yeah.
And there's movies that that came out that aren't really, they're kind of meh. But if Spider-Man was in there to bounce off the character, it would have landed better. And I think the first Captain Marvel is one of those movies. I think Spider-Man should have been in that movie. I don't know what he would do in that movie, but I feel he needed to be there to help soften off Danvers.
Because he's like the new mascot for like the MCU, essentially, like the new face of it.
Yeah, but
I mean,
because
it makes sense.
Sony wants to make a fucking Venom verse.
Oh my god.
What they really want to do, they just want Spider-Man to themselves, but they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want the Disney money because obviously they made a deal, but they also want to do their own shit. But it doesn't work that way.
Right.
But
they had their opportunity with Spider-Man 4 and the Amazing Spider-Man 3, but
they could have made the Amazing Spider-Man 3. I don't know what's stopping them from making the Amazing Spider-Man 3. Some people want it. I guess they forgot. They forgot that the first two weren't that great.
I feel like I should just make this a separate thing because we were talking about DC. I think I should just make a separate thing for Marvel, but I do think that no, it's fine. We all kind of just said fuck it, but yeah, I did hear somewhere that the big three, like the original big three, was Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. Now they need a new big three since the two of them are gone. I read originally it was supposed to be Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and Black Panther, but that got shafted because Chadwick died, unfortunately, and I feel like they were just trying to rest in peace. But I feel like they were trying to scramble to see who the next, who the missing third is. I feel like they wanted it to be Falcon or maybe fucking Captain Marvel, but I don't know how fans would react to that.
I think Captain Marvel, Thor, and Spider-Man was probably the three they were leaning on. But people don't really like Captain Marvel, or they don't like Brie Larson. I think that's not her fault. I think it's just poor execution of scripts. And whenever you're dealing with someone who's like super powerful, it's kind of hard to get to like them because they don't really got flaws.
I also did hear that Brie Larson is not that good of a person in real life.
Yeah,
it's just
I just don't like her as a person or as the character that she plays as. So you can't really connect to her character like that.
Yeah, I think that's a problem that Superman had. Honestly, tie it back in the DC. When you're just that powerful, it's just hard to connect to the character. That's why Man of Steel was so good because they found a way to humanize. And I think they found a way to humanize Miss Marvel in the Marvel, not Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, by using Miss Marvel because you kind of have the two of their relationship kind of helped mended the relationship between Monica and Carol, so that you basically got a sisterhood now. But it doesn't feel like some girls get it done type shit, Charlie's Angel shit. It actually felt genuine. It was wholesome. I liked that shit. But the Marvel doesn't have. Well, I think Iman is gonna take that spot. I think she's like, yo, fuck it. There's a void. I'm gonna take it. So I think they'll be fine now. I don't like that. Well, I'm not even gonna touch that. Iman's gonna hold it down. They're gonna work some shit out because I heard that they're making Spider-Man 4. So I don't think they're gonna rely on Tom Holland. Try to use his movies because we know Spider-Man. I don't think they've made a bad Spider-Man movie for the MCU, so that's going to be a solid entry. And I mean, we got to see how Armor Wars does, Captain America movie does. I don't see it right now, but maybe they could make Falcon be the leader, so to speak, because technically Falcon kind of has the same background as Steve Rogers. It's just in the movie. Well, I think that the show they had, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I don't think that did him any favors.
Right.
So I think that's why some people have doubts on him. But I think if this Captain America movie is done well, it'll be all right. And they also got the rights to Hulk back, so that could be another person that they use. They could use Ruffalo as someone to kind of unite the shit.
I don't I don't know about the Hulk because I've been hearing stuff that they're probably not interested. But I mean, who knows? It could lead. Brave New World could lead to a World War Hulk. Who knows?
I'm not
I'm
even going to see Brave New World. I've lost all faith in Marvel, and
Yeah, I'm nervous about Daredevil. Like, I
I,
don't
Well,
I'm
really.
at,
yeah,
I wasn't nervous about Daredevil till recently.
Yeah, God,
yeah.
that's
I'm afraid they're gonna botch Daredevil because that show was so good. I wish like
very good.
Honestly, they just need to continue where the Netflix shit left off. Just
Exactly, and maybe
don't try
yeah,
to do no new shit because clearly that ain't working.
and we need like a Punisher season 3 because they were going to make that and then they just canceled it. Like we need that as
may,
well.
maybe Echo could be like maybe it could be good, and that could be a good sign for rated R Marvel projects moving forward. But I don't know. I just don't really see it going anywhere, honestly.
Problem is, who the fuck is Echo?
Exactly.
Like,
Like it just she's like a forgettable character in Hawkeye, and I liked the show, but I feel like she was the worst part. I'm like, why is she here again?
I did not care about her at all. What
exactly.
was she like? Related to Wilson Fisk or something? Like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, she shot him, I think, or
yeah,
supposedly. Like they cut
yeah.
away.
She shot him in the eye, I think. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I
But
think we're
I
I think we're
did find it.
slowly 2 hours.
I
Sorry.
it's okay.
I
I
was I was
honestly,
I was trying to tie it back to DC, but I kind of failed. But
yeah, it did. But
We did talk.
um,
We did talk about plenty for both, so I think we're good.
I guess final thoughts on the DCEU, then we can wrap it up.
Yeah. My final thoughts is like I can't say it's been a good run, but it's been interesting because it just doesn't really feel like DC knew what they were doing because they were trying to like copy Marvel for a long time, and then they decided to go their own way, and then it just a whole reboot. It's been very interesting because this has never happened before, but I mean, I won't be there to see it, but I hope DC gets their shit together.
Hmm. I
yeah.
hope. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll close it. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I would say that DC it had a lot of potential to be great, like a darker MCU, but completely botched it, and it's pretty much dead now. And Marvel like was really good for like the first 3 phases, but I feel like even though they've had some bangers, they're dying out as well, and I feel like it's unfortunate to say this, but they have to put both series to rest.
Yeah.
Like
All
they have
right.
to just
Well,
let them die.
I was gonna say I echo what both of you are saying, but Jake, you caught well. um. All right. So let me address Marvel first, and I'll close with DC. I think Marvel would be fine because even though it's taking a little longer than I would, Feige did say he sees what's happening and he's gonna try to course correct. But when you got shit in the pipeline already, it's kind of hard to like you can't really like when you move a ship. It's like it takes time for that turn to go through. It's not like a car where you could turn on a dime. When you're steering a ship, it's like you gotta you gotta make sure that your shit is right because just the slightest incalculation could send you into an iceberg. But
Right.
yeah, that's a Titanic reference. But I think because you can't really count Guardians because you know that was a bad Guardians movie. But I would say starting with that movie, I guess pretend Secret Invasion doesn't exist. Uh, Marvel hasn't really been disappointing me, and I think that especially now that they're probably gonna have to course correct with Kang. Um, I think they're gonna. I think they're because they push back mad movies. So I think Feige is looking at each upcoming release individually and is gonna do the One Piece and make sure that things are correct so that when they release, people are hype and excited. I think Marvel will be fine. Now, as far as DC is concerned, I honestly wish that DC didn't fail because DC would keep Marvel honest. You know, when Marvel wants to throw, people just move over to DC because they're telling better stories. But unfortunately, DC was telling worse stories than Marvel. So you got the problem where it's like, well, no one's really doing anything. But with the DCEU dying, they're obviously not going to let it die completely. They're going to shake it out, see what worked and what didn't, and try to start again. But I hope that this time, when they do it, they have a good foundation and they start using more of the crazier stories. Because there's a story that in DC called Blackest Night, which involves the Green Lanterns, and for lack of time, I'm not going to go into everything, but that storyline is ridiculous. And I was honestly hoping that one day something like that would be adapted, whether it be a cartoon or live action. I really would like to see that story get some type of treatment outside of the comic. I'm pretty sure there's someone like Comic Historian or Comics Explained that can, you can watch that video and get the gist. But that story was crazy. That story reminded me of the shit they tried to do in What If with the whole Marvel Zombie shit. That it's really fucking good. I hope it gets adapted someday. So if the DCEU is dying, at least the one that we know now, I hope what comes from the ashes from it is a lot better and can support long-term storytelling so we can get to that Blackest Night story. That's all I got.
Well, those are good final thoughts. So at this point, we might add a couple other extra stuff if we do have some time left. But usually at this point, I kind of would like to. I call it the after party, or I might change it, but like right now it's called the after party, where I just check comments on recent videos and stuff. But since this is episode 1, we don't have any.
You ain't got no comments. You ain't got no badges.
And also, it might not work for episode 2 as well because we're going to be doing it right after. But yeah, usually I just kind of check comments or something, or we just kind of just say like what we're going to be doing over the weekend, or like any upcoming plans on like Thunder Pals or my channel, or like if there's other guests on the show, which I do plan on getting more. Maybe they'll just say what they're doing. But yeah, usually this will happen. But I guess maybe, do you have like anything you have planned for like Thunder Pals or something?
I mean, I was gonna do some Minecraft today. I KO'd hard when I got home. I do have an upcoming Pokemon collab coming. I didn't exactly set it up yet, but essentially I'm gonna ask 3 streamers to join me. We're gonna form an Elite Four, and we're gonna lay down the gauntlet for people to challenge. Some people want to complicate it by adding more stuff to it. I just want to get this base idea off. If this works, then I can expand it to include more people. But I just want to get I want to feel for how this will work, because it's kind of dependent on the audiences coming through, and then I don't know if we can field multiple challenges. I'm not exactly sure how it's all going to shake out, because but I do need to get the announcement out soon so people can form their teams, because I want this to happen at the end of January. So right. That's a big event that's coming up.
Yeah, it's that sounds fun. Well, I probably shouldn't have done this like the day before Christmas Eve, because I feel like we just are focusing more on that than like actual plans. But I mean, It is cool that the Pokemon collab's happening.
Yeah.
Probably won't be joining for that, but it's still cool.
I mean, got time. Pick up the game.
I could. In terms of me, probably not much. I mean, I might just be focusing on this, just editing and all that. Gotta think of a good thumbnail to do. But yeah, it was fun doing this first episode.
Yeah, it's a good first episode.
Yeah, pretty
maybe
good.
we'll just probably plug in our like where to find us. So you can. I have lots of social media. Actually, let me just look at my fucking social media to see where you could find me. I don't memorize all of it. I have an Instagram that I kind of post on somewhat. I just usually do stories and all that. You can follow me at Josie8356. That'll probably be in the
It's
description
a
as
lot of
well.
numbers.
I know. I have a Snapchat that, like I said, kind of like Instagram. I'm not on that much, but maybe in terms of the podcast, I might have to. It's called Costanza_2, JCOSTANZA_2. I do have Discord, but I don't know if many would want to add me, but just in case, is Josie9282. Again, more numbers, sorry, but yeah, that's about it. If you guys want to plug in your shit?
You got anything you want to plug, Jake?
No, not really.
Yo, you can find Jake on the Costanza podcast.
On my channel, Josie, right now. Just fucking subscribe, like all that shit.
If you wanted more of the Jake, you want Jake from State Farm, he got you, bro.
He probably
Like
won't
a
show
good
up at your
neighbor.
house. He probably won't show up at your house, but at least he'll be a good neighbor.
Yeah, I know, a good
You
neighbor.
probably don't want him showing up at your house.
You can make your handle not Jake from.
That could be good. Anyways, where can we find you?
You can find me on the Thunder Pals. I have personal social media, but I'm not really doing nothing on that. Like all my stuff is on Thunder Pals, but I guess once this episode goes live, I'll link it to my personal channel. But just look for Thunder Pals. That's where most of my shit is.
All right. I don't really have that good of a closing like catchphrase, but I mean, I can't say Serenity now because that'll be copyright. So, or like any famous Seinfeld quote. I guess we'll just do the
They
cliche.
got copyright on Serenity now.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I can't say just in case, but
well, it's the day before Christmas Eve, so happy Festivus to everyone.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah, happy Festivus, Merry Christmas is probably gonna come out after Christmas, but yeah, hope you have good holidays, whatever you celebrate, mainly Christmas.
You're a holiday.
Exactly. But yeah, I guess
happy holidays to everybody.
I hope to catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one.